What is good, YouTube? My name is Ash Porter and welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to be telling you why you should read the Mistborn Trilogy. This trilogy, wait, I've actually only got two of them. The other one, the first book, The Final Empire, I actually gave to my father-in-law because I was like, this is so good, read it. And so he's got my version. So I've only got two. This video will be a spoiler-free video to the extent of, I'm only going to be talking about stuff that happens literally within the first few pages. So, I mean, these are thick books. These are not going to be spoilers, but I want to be able to set the scene, lay the landscape, tell you a bit about what is going on in these books. The first part of this video, I'll be doing exactly that, setting the scene, laying the landscape, painting a picture of where we jump into this story. And then the second part of this video will be my reasons why you should be reading these books. The Mistborn Trilogy, or at least the first three Mistborn books, have risen to prominence to being, at least, well, in my opinion, some of the best fantasy books ever written. This story is set within Sanderson's Cosmere universe, kind of like the Marvel universe, but his own thing across a number of different planets and a number of different stories. But we follow a story on a planet called Scardurel, where there is home to a number of different races, but more prominently, it's home to the Final Empire. Scardurel is a bit like our planet. You'd feel like there's not a lot too different. It has human inhabitants, all that kind of good stuff, except there are 7 giant volcanoes, or in the world of Scardurel, they're called ash mounts, which 24 hours a day are spewing ash and covering the whole world in the stuff. Scardurel is also home to the mysterious mists which every night consume the land and scare people inside. Within the Final Empire, there is one god, one ruler, one man in charge. He's immortal, he's all-powerful. He is the sole ruler of this planet. He is literally a living god. The sole religion of this planet is focused around him. He is the head of everything, and he has been ruling for 1,000 years. Within his empire, there are 2 classes, the nobles and the scar. The nobles are like the ruling elite who have the Lord Ruler's favour, have all the power, all the wealth, the luxurious life. Whereas the scar, they are the ones who for 1,000 years have been put into chains, who have been crushed, who have been basically enslaved and used by the nobles to work the land and do what they don't want to be doing. It's a world divided by class, ruled by a god, but also enriched by magic. This isn't your everyday magic systems, with wizards casting spells and all the normal stuff you'll see, but this is a magic system called allomancy, based around the consumption of metal and powers given through that. Some lucky people, the Mistings, get one specific power based on the metal they consume. Others, even rarer than the Mistings, the legendary Mistborn, get a whole range of amazing powers. Within the Mistborn Trilogy, we live this story through 2 incredible protagonists, Kel and Vin, and their battle to overthrow the Final Empire. So that is a summary of what's been happening, where you enter this story, but now it's time to tell you why the heck you should read these books. Number 1, the world building. The Cosmere, Scardurel, these individual books, whatever it is, Sanderson is a master world builder. The world is immersive, it draws you in. Sanderson just paints pictures that are so vivid and just creates almost like a real life picture as you're reading this book. And let's be honest, a lot of the time it's just beautiful to read. At first, this world can seem dark, it can seem gloomy, it can seem a bit lifeless. But the more you read, the more you sort of uncover its history, the reasons why the world is covered in ash, the reasons why mists come out at night, the reasons why, he's chosen this time in its technological advancement, in its civilization, the why, and it's just fascinating. And a common theme of this series is it has depth, right? You're going to hear me say a lot in the next few bits, but the world building has depth to it. He doesn't just throw it all at you in one go. You slowly are revealed more and more about the world of Scargill, the depth it has to its like incredible ecosystems and the way it just works. What he does so well is he slowly unfolds a beautiful world with an incredible story behind it. Number 2, the magic system. Like any good fantasy series, the Mistborn Trilogy has an incredible, if not even more importantly, unique magic system. It has allomancy, based around metals. When I was first reading The Final Empire, this blew my mind. I'd never it was just so unique to me. I'd never considered it before. The fact that this idea that you could swallow metals and their alloys, and if you had the right genetics, that could give you certain powers and like strength and all this kind of stuff. And it just was like, how have you managed to think of this? It's genius. It's crazy, it's unbelievable, but it works and it's amazing. And I think what's great about this is the powers, what you gain from it, it's so varied. So, you could have one person whose genetics allows them to swallow pewter, right? And that pewter then, as they burn it, that's what the phrase is for using the metal inside of you. It gives you incredible strength and endurance for a certain amount of time. Or you could be someone who can swallow tin, and when you burn it, all your senses are enhanced. Or even another, and the final example, is that you can swallow and burn brass. And when you do that, you have this amazing power where you can almost dampen and control people's emotions a little bit. No, you can't heighten them. That's another separate power. But with brass, you can dampen them. You can, someone's feeling sad, you can get rid of that sadness. If someone's feeling angry, you can get rid of that anger. These are incredible powers. And they're not your everyday powers either. It's also varied in the sense that, you can be a normal human being, or you can be a Misting, someone who has one power, or you can be Mistborn, someone who has a whole host of powers. The final thing to say about the magic system is, once again, there is depth to it. I'm giving you the basics of it, but the more you read, the more you understand. There is so much more to this magic system than first meets the eye. Sanderson's books have so much depth. Number 3, great stories need great characters. Any story, whether it's one you're telling someone yourself, whether it's a TV show, a film, a video game, or a book, you need great characters for it to work. You need characters you can journey with, you can connect with, you can relate to, and that is exactly what the Mistborn Trilogy has. Our main protagonists, Kelsier and Vin, they are quality characters. Once again, they are characters with incredible depth, great backstories who develop through the course of the books. They are written so well. They are flawed, yet they are strong. They make mistakes, yet they recover and learn. They aren't just these boring, perfect superheroes that we can so often find in books like this. At the end of the day, despite their powers, all these characters, they're really human. They're really relatable. And it's not just Kelsier or Vin that stand out. Actually, these books have a whole range of other characters who share the limelight sometimes, at other times are minor characters. But actually, all of them are so important, and you become invested in each of their stories. And it's the same thing, where with the world building, he doesn't just throw it all at you at once. It's slowly revealed over time, and you learn more and more about all these different unique characters, and you become so invested in them. They all have an important role to play. It's not just all about Kel and Vin. The other characters are so important as well. Number 4, it's a journey of discovery. I think what I mean by this is with the Mistborn Trilogy and Sanderson's work, what you see isn't always what's going to happen. You know, it isn't always as obvious as you think it is. Once again, there is incredible depth to the storytelling. There are so many times, and you can go and watch my book vlogs of these books, where I tried to guess where the story was going, what was going to happen to this character, that character, and I honestly, like, every time I got it wrong. I just wasn't able to like predict the depth of the storytelling, the story which had been laid out, the plan which had been made, and the routes it was going to take. You know, as you read for, you know, the over thousands and thousands of pages for these books as a total, you're constantly learning. The story is constantly developing and unfolding, and it's an incredible journey discovering more and more about the characters, the world, the magic systems, and everything going on. And ultimately, that just keeps you coming back for more and more and more, because you want to know more about this beautiful story. You know, even bits simply like the epigraph, you know, that little paragraph at the start of each chapter, like, it sets the story more. It lets it, those alone take you on a journey. If you were just to read those throughout the book, you know, that's a story in itself. And as you read them with the book, it adds so much depth to these books. It adds so much. It makes you think, oh my gosh, like, it slowly reveals information about important characters, important storylines. And again, it allows you to go on this incredible journey. And then finally, why it's a journey of discovery is that, like I said before, Sanderson doesn't rush to tell this story. You know, this is 3 chunky books for the Mistborn Trilogy, but he slowly delivers it in a way that's purposeful, that's crafted well, that seems incredibly planned, and it just draws you in. And it's not a rush journey. It's not too slow either. You know, if you're worrying, oh, there's thousands of pages, honestly, you tear through it. It's like this amazingly crafted story. There are just so many moments where you sit back and you just go, wow, how has he done that? How has he made that happen? How has he got the story to this point? How has he kept that a secret from me? It's an incredible journey to go on. And then 5, the final reason I think you should read this book is this. This isn't just simple, plain storytelling. This is thoughtful, well-constructed storytelling, which also makes you think. You know, one of the things we all love about fiction is that there's that element of escapism, especially within fantasy. It's like escaping to a new place. It's a distraction. It's something new. But actually, what I really value sometimes is, yes, I love that escapism, but I also want to be thinking. I want to be challenged. I want to think, oh, has this book taught me something? Or can I even be a better person after reading these books? And that is exactly what happens throughout the Mistborn Trilogy. You know, throughout this, with, you know, in small ways, just through the story, Sanderson asks some really big questions relevant to our society, relevant to our time, that are delivered in a way that's light and accessible and wrapped up in this incredible story. You know, a huge part of this story, without any spoilers, is just it's based on social hierarchy. It's about, you know, the like authority and the channel of power and, like, you know, slavery, like oppressing people. It's so, like, interestingly unpacked and developed. And Sanderson what I love is that he doesn't back away from this stuff. He embraces it. He doesn't claim to be an expert and to be telling you how to live your life through the power of story, but he tackles real stuff. Another one of these is, one of the big topics in this is religion and faith. He tackles that incredibly well. Now, I don't know Sanderson's standpoint, his view on religion and faith, but actually he shows the good and the bad. He isn't like one-sided in, you know, religion's awful, it's terrible, it can be used to manipulate and crush people, which it can do. But he also highlights the good it can have and how it can inspire people, how it can change people, how it can literally change the world for the better. He handles this really well. He gives a well-balanced argument, and it fits so well into this story. You know, this may all sound really heavy, but the reality is this is all stuff that affects our world, and therefore it should affect our stories too. You can't run away from this reality, and Sanderson doesn't, and I absolutely love that. And ultimately as well, it makes the storytelling immersive because, again, you can relate to it better, you can understand it better, you can see narratives which play out in our world, play out in the story, and it can give you hope for, oh, this is how we could change. This is how we could change something for the better. And there you go. There you have it. My 5 reasons why you should read the Mistborn Trilogy. The world building, the magic system, the characters, the journey, and the fact it makes you think. If you can't tell already, I absolutely loved reading this book. I would honestly say they're some of my favourite books ever now. They have jumped well up the list, and I just want to tell everyone about them. Go read them. They are phenomenal. If you enjoyed this video, please drop a like on the video, subscribe to my channel, even share it with your friends, share it with those you want to make read the Mistborn Trilogy as well. It helps me out so much and I'd be so grateful for that. But anyway, I've been Ash Porter. Thank you so much for watching this video and I'll see you next time.